6 common nuts slowly poisoning your body, and 6 that heal you instead. Welcome back. Today we are diving into a topic that might surprise you. It is something small, something you might keep in your kitchen, something you may snack on without even thinking. I am talking about nuts. Now, most people believe that all nuts are healthy. And yes, many of them are. They are full of good fats, fiber, protein, and energy. But here is the truth that often gets overlooked. Not all nuts are created equal. Some can nourish your heart, your brain, and your digestion. Others, though, they can do more harm than good, not just to your health but to the environment and even to the people who harvest them. So today I want to take you on a thoughtful journey. We are going to talk about 6 kinds of nuts that truly love you back. Nuts that give your body what it needs to thrive. And we are also going to look at 6 kinds of nuts you might want to reconsider, not out of fear but out of wisdom, because being informed is one of the best gifts we can give ourselves. So if you have ever wondered, are the snacks I'm reaching for really helping me feel my best? You are in the right place. Let us explore this together with care, with clarity, and with the respect your health deserves. 1. Chestnuts. Let us begin with a nut that is often overlooked outside of the holiday season. Chestnuts. For many people, chestnuts bring back memories of wintertime, perhaps roasting over an open fire or tucked into a warm stuffing on a family table. But these little brown gems deserve a place in your kitchen far beyond Christmas. In fact, they may be one of the best nuts you can eat regularly, especially as you get older and want to stay active, energized, and balanced. What makes chestnuts stand out is how different they are from most other nuts. While many nuts are high in fat, healthy fats, yes, but still quite rich, chestnuts are naturally low in fat. That makes them easier to digest and gentler on the heart. If you are watching your weight or trying to maintain healthy cholesterol levels, chestnuts are a smart choice that does not weigh you down. Chestnuts are also a surprising source of vitamin C, which is something we do not usually associate with nuts at all. Vitamin C helps boost your immune system and supports skin health, something that becomes even more important as we age. Alongside that, chestnuts contain vitamin E, which helps protect your cells, and dietary fiber, which is key for digestion and blood sugar control. But beyond nutrition, chestnuts offer something else: comfort. Their flavor is mild and slightly sweet. They do not overpower a dish, but instead add a soft, satisfying richness that warms both the body and the soul. You can roast them in the oven, boil them, or grind them into flour for baking. They work beautifully in soups, grain dishes, and even desserts. 2. Pecans. Now, let us talk about a nut that brings sweetness not just to pies, but to your overall well-being. Pecans. If you are from the American South, you probably grew up with pecans in desserts, sprinkled over casseroles or eaten straight from the shell. But pecans are more than just a tasty tradition. They are a genuine superfood for older adults. What makes pecans so powerful? To begin with, they are rich in healthy fats, particularly monounsaturated fats, that support heart health and help lower bad cholesterol. Unlike heavily salted snacks or sugary treats, pecans satisfy your hunger while giving your body the kind of fuel it can actually use without causing sugar spikes or energy crashes. Pecans are also packed with antioxidants, which play a key role in protecting your brain and nervous system. For older adults, this is especially important. As we age, the risk of memory loss and cognitive decline increases, but antioxidants help fight the oxidative stress that can contribute to these changes. In fact, some studies suggest that regular consumption of pecans may even help slow age-related neurological decline. But it is not just about the brain. Pecans contain a plant compound called beta sitosterol, which has been linked to better prostate health, making them especially beneficial for older men. They are also a good source of calcium, magnesium, and potassium, minerals that support strong bones, steady blood pressure, and muscle function. Another thing I love about pecans is how naturally sweet and buttery they taste, even without any added sugar. That makes them a great way to satisfy a craving in a healthier way. Just a small handful can help you feel full, comforted, and nourished all at once. 3. Pistachios. Next on our list is a nut that has truly stood the test of time. Pistachios. These small green gems have been eaten and loved by humans for over 9,000 years. That is not a typo. 9,000 years. From ancient Persia to modern kitchens, pistachios have earned their place as one of the most nutritious and reliable foods nature has to offer. What makes pistachios so special? First, they are packed with protein. About 20% of their total weight comes from plant-based protein, which is a rare and valuable trait in a snack that is also light and easy to eat. If you are trying to maintain muscle strength as you age, adding high-quality plant protein to your diet is a smart move, and pistachios make it delicious. Pistachios are also a great source of fiber, which supports digestion, helps regulate blood sugar, and keeps you feeling full for longer. For older adults trying to manage weight or blood pressure, this can be a game changer. And let us not forget potassium. Just 1 ounce of pistachios has almost as much potassium as a small banana. That is essential for maintaining healthy blood pressure, muscle function, and heart rhythm. Another benefit, pistachios are rich in antioxidants, including lutein and zeaxanthin, which are known to protect eye health. If you are spending more time reading on screens or outdoors, these nutrients help reduce strain and support your vision as you age. Perhaps one of the best things about pistachios is their ability to support blood sugar control and cholesterol management. Several studies have shown that pistachios may help reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes and improve the balance of good and bad cholesterol in the body. 4. Hazelnuts. Let us take a moment to appreciate a nut that often shows up in sweet treats, creamy spreads, and frothy coffee drinks. Hazelnuts. While they are popular for their flavor, hazelnuts also happen to be one of the most nutrient-dense and environmentally friendly nuts you can add to your daily routine. To start, hazelnuts are rich in healthy fats, especially monounsaturated fats, which support heart health and help reduce harmful cholesterol levels. They are also a fantastic source of vitamin E, a powerful antioxidant that protects your cells from damage and supports healthy skin and immune function, both of which become more important with age. In addition, hazelnuts are full of B vitamins, including folate, which helps support brain function and energy production. They also contain magnesium, copper, and manganese, which are essential for bone strength, nerve function, and metabolic health. Now let us talk about something many people overlook. Inflammation. Chronic inflammation is linked to several age-related conditions, such as arthritis, heart disease, and even cognitive decline. The antioxidants and nutrients in hazelnuts help lower inflammation throughout the body, gently supporting your joints, brain, and overall comfort. But hazelnuts are not only good for your body, they are good for the planet, too. Compared to many other crops, hazelnuts require very little water and can grow in poor soils without needing heavy irrigation or chemical fertilizers. Their deep roots even help prevent soil erosion. That means every hazelnut you eat supports not just your health, but a more sustainable earth for future generations. As for taste, hazelnuts are truly a gift. Their warm, slightly sweet flavor makes them a perfect companion to both sweet and savory dishes. You can toss them into salads, blend them into smoothies, bake them into muffins, or enjoy them on their own as a midday snack. So, if you are looking for a nut that feeds your body, protects your heart, and leaves a lighter footprint on The planet, hazelnuts are a beautiful choice. They offer a rare combination of nourishment, simplicity, and responsibility, which sounds a lot like the wisdom we gain with age. 5. Walnuts, your brain's best friend. Now we come to a nut that is instantly recognizable, not just for its shape, but for what it does for your mind and memory. That nut is the walnut. And believe it or not, the way it looks tells you a lot about what it helps. It resembles a tiny human brain. That is not just a fun coincidence. Walnuts are one of the best foods for brain health. At any age, and especially as we grow older, walnuts are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, specifically a plant-based type called alpha-linolenic acid or ALA. This healthy fat helps reduce inflammation in the body and supports brain function, including memory, focus, and even mood regulation. As we age, our brain becomes more sensitive to inflammation and oxidative stress. Walnuts help protect your brain cells so they stay sharp and resilient. But their benefits do not stop there. Walnuts are loaded with antioxidants which help defend your body against damage from free radicals. Free radicals can lead to premature aging, memory problems, and even heart disease. Adding walnuts to your diet is like giving your cells a little extra armor. They are also a good source of plant-based protein, fiber, and essential minerals like magnesium and phosphorus. These nutrients support strong bones, steady energy levels, and better sleep. 3 things that make a huge difference in how we feel day to day. One thing to keep in mind is that walnuts are more calorie dense than some other nuts. So, portion control is important. A small handful, about 1 ounce per day, is enough to give you all the benefits without going overboard. Another interesting fact, walnuts may help improve the balance of healthy fats in your bloodstream. They have been shown to lower LDL or bad cholesterol, while increasing HDL or good cholesterol. That means better circulation and a healthier heart, 2 things that directly support cognitive function as well. 6. Acorns, an ancient superfood with a modern purpose. Now, this last one might surprise you. When you hear the word acorn, you might think of squirrels or fall leaves, not something you would actually eat. But long before we had protein bars in health food aisles, people were turning to acorns as a reliable and powerful source of nourishment. Acorns are the fruit of oak trees, and they have been a staple food in many ancient cultures, from the Greeks and Romans to indigenous communities in North America. Why? Because once properly prepared, acorns are packed with vitamins, minerals, and plant-based energy that can benefit your entire body. Acorns are rich in complex carbohydrates, which provide steady, long-lasting energy without the crashes that come from processed sugars. They also contain fiber, which supports healthy digestion and helps regulate blood sugar levels, something especially important as we age. In addition, acorns provide vitamin C, calcium, phosphorus, and healthy fats. This combination helps build stronger bones, support immune function, and even improve the condition of your skin. Some traditional uses of acorns even include remedies for diarrhea and inflammation. Now, there is one important thing to remember. You cannot eat acorns straight from the ground. They contain a natural compound called tannins, which makes them bitter and potentially harmful if eaten raw. But with a little preparation, they become completely safe and enjoyable. Most methods involve soaking or boiling the acorns to remove the tannins, then drying and grinding them into a flour. This flour can be used in baking, or you can enjoy the acorns roasted, much like chestnuts. While acorns are not as common in today's supermarkets, they are experiencing a small revival among health-conscious and environmentally minded folks. They are easy to harvest, store well, and require no chemical farming. In a world where sustainability matters more and more, acorns offer a way to reconnect with both our health and our planet. So, if you are looking to try something new, rooted in tradition and rich with benefits, consider giving acorns a place at your table. With the right preparation, they are not just food for squirrels. They are ancient wisdom you can taste. 6 nuts you should gently let go. Let us begin this next section with a nut that sounds familiar but carries a serious warning. Bitter almonds. They may look like the regular sweet almonds we buy at the store, but they are a completely different variety and they can be toxic if eaten raw. Bitter almonds are the seeds of certain wild almond trees, and they are also found in apricot kernels, which some people use in natural remedies. These seeds contain a natural compound called amygdalin, which your body can convert into cyanide. Yes, the very same poisonous substance used in industrial chemicals. That might sound dramatic, but the danger is real. Just a handful of raw bitter almonds, sometimes as few as 10, can cause serious symptoms like nausea, dizziness, or even life-threatening complications. Even 4 or 5 raw kernels may lead to mild poisoning in some people. That is why many countries, including the United States, have strict regulations on the sale of raw bitter almonds. Now, here is the important detail. When bitter almonds are heated or cooked properly, such as when used to make marzipan or almond flavoring, the toxic compounds are broken down and become safe to eat. So, you do not need to worry if you enjoy the occasional almond-flavored pastry or dessert. That flavor often comes from bitter almonds, but they have been carefully processed. Still, raw or unregulated bitter almonds and apricot kernels are sometimes sold online or at health food markets as alternative medicine, and that is where the risk comes in. Some people hoping to boost immunity or treat illness naturally end up unintentionally poisoning themselves. So, what is the takeaway here? If you are ever unsure whether the almonds you have are sweet or bitter, do not eat them raw. Stick to well-known, clearly labeled sources. And if in doubt, do not take the risk. Even in nature, beauty can come with hidden danger. And part of growing wiser is learning to listen to those quiet warnings. 2. Peanuts. Now, let us talk about a nut that is almost impossible to avoid. Peanuts. They are found in lunchboxes, party bowls, trail mixes, and even airline snacks. For many of us, they bring back memories of peanut butter sandwiches or crunchy, salty handfuls during a movie night. But despite their popularity, peanuts come with some serious concerns, especially for those of us trying to protect our long-term health. First, it is important to understand that peanuts are not actually true nuts. They are legumes, like beans and lentils, and while they do offer some healthy fats, protein, and fiber, they also come with a unique risk: aflatoxins. Aflatoxins are naturally occurring toxins produced by certain types of mold, specifically a fungus called Aspergillus flavus. This mold can grow on peanuts while they are still in the ground during harvest or even in storage. In small amounts, aflatoxins may not cause immediate symptoms, but over time, regular exposure has been linked to liver damage, hepatitis, and even liver cancer. And here is the tricky part. Aflatoxins do not change the taste or smell of the peanuts. You could be eating them without ever knowing. While the U.S. Food and Drug Administration regulates levels of aflatoxins in food, contaminated batches sometimes still make it into the food supply, especially in imported peanut products or poorly stored items. There is another concern. Peanuts are very calorie-dense, and because they are so tasty and salty, they are easy to overeat. Just a few handfuls can add hundreds of calories to your day without providing the same nutrients you would get from other healthier nuts. For those of us trying to manage weight, cholesterol, or blood sugar, peanuts might not be the wisest everyday choice. 3. Almonds. Now, this one might come as a surprise. After all, almonds are often Praised as one of the healthiest nuts you can eat, they're loaded with vitamin E, packed with fiber, full of protein, and known to support heart health, bone strength, and even brain function. So, why are almonds on a list of nuts you should think twice about? The answer is not just about what almonds do to you, but about what they do to the environment. Let us start with a single number. It takes about 1 gallon of water to grow one almond. Yes. 1. That means a small handful of almonds, maybe 20 or so, represents 20 gallons of water. Multiply that by the bags and boxes sold in stores, and you can begin to understand the strain. Now, consider this. More than 80% of the world's almonds are grown in California, a state that has been battling severe droughts for years. To keep up with the global demand for almonds, farmers often have to pump groundwater from deep beneath the earth, water that is needed by rivers, lakes, plants, and wildlife. This excessive water use puts stress on natural ecosystems, including the habitats of endangered fish like salmon. In times of drought, this becomes even more serious. Almond farming can divert water away from people and animals who need it to survive. And all of this is happening for a crop that, while nutritious, is not essential. Now, this does not mean you have to stop eating almonds completely. But it is a good opportunity to become a more mindful consumer. If you love almond milk or almond snacks, consider enjoying them occasionally rather than daily. You might also look for alternatives that require less water, such as hazelnuts or walnuts, which are better for the planet. 4. Cashews. Cashews are often seen as a luxurious snack. They are buttery, smooth, and blend beautifully into sauces, spreads, and non-dairy cheese alternatives. Nutritionally, they offer plenty of good things: fiber, healthy fats, protein, magnesium, and copper. At first glance, cashews seem like a wholesome, guilt-free treat. But behind every handful of cashews is a story that is not so comforting, one that most people have never been told. The majority of the world's cashews come from Vietnam and India, where they are grown, harvested, and processed under conditions that raise serious ethical concerns. The outer shell of a raw cashew contains a caustic liquid similar to what you would find in poison ivy. To remove this, workers must roast or steam the nuts, then manually extract them using their hands. Here's the part many do not know. This work is often done by people in forced labor conditions, including women and even children. In some cases, workers are exposed to toxic fumes and skin-burning oils without proper protection. They labor long hours in hot, dangerous environments, many for extremely low pay or no pay at all. Some are confined to labor camps and have no freedom to leave. International reports and human rights groups have even coined a chilling phrase for this: blood cashews. Much like blood diamonds, the term refers to products that are harvested through human suffering. Now, let me be clear. Not all cashews come from unethical sources. There are fair trade companies that treat workers properly and ensure safe conditions, but the vast majority of cashews on the market do not come with that kind of transparency. So, what can you do? First, consider reducing how often you eat cashews, especially if you are unsure of their origin. Second, if you choose to buy them, look for fair trade certifications or brands that openly share how their cashews are sourced. These choices may seem small, but they send a message and they add up. 5. Macadamia nuts. Macadamia nuts are often seen as a treat. Their buttery texture and subtle sweetness make them feel indulgent, almost like dessert in nut form. You'll find them in cookies, granola, and even gourmet snack mixes. And yes, they do have some wonderful health benefits like heart-healthy fats, antioxidants, and essential minerals. But here is where we need to pause and take a closer look, because with macadamia nuts, the issue is not about toxins, mold, or labor. It is about calories and how incredibly easy it is to overeat these rich little morsels. Let's break it down. Just 1 cup of macadamia nuts contains about 1,000 calories. That is half or even 2/3 of the daily calorie needs for many older adults just from 1 cup of nuts. The problem is macadamias are so tasty and smooth that it's easy to lose track. A few handfuls during a television show or while talking on the phone can add up fast, and it is not just the calorie count. Because macadamias are high in fat, mostly monounsaturated, which is good in moderation, they can feel deceptively light, but the richness can add strain on your digestion, especially for those with sensitive stomachs or gallbladder issues. Now, this does not mean macadamia nuts are bad or that you have to avoid them completely. In fact, their healthy fats can support brain and heart health, especially when eaten in small amounts. But with these nuts, portion control is everything. If you enjoy macadamias, try to pre-portion them. Count out 5 or 6 nuts instead of grabbing a handful. Enjoy them slowly, maybe with fruit or whole grains, to balance the richness, or use them as a topping rather than the main snack. 6. Horse chestnuts. We are ending our list with a nut that might look harmless, maybe even familiar, but is anything but safe to eat. I am talking about horse chestnuts. Now, it is easy to confuse these with edible chestnuts. They look very similar. On the outside, smooth brown shells, a rounded shape, even a similar color. And if you live in an area with oak trees or parks, you have probably seen them on the ground during the fall. But here's the important thing. Horse chestnuts are not real chestnuts, and more importantly, they are not safe to eat. Unlike the sweet chestnuts you can roast and enjoy, horse chestnuts contain a toxic compound called esculin. This chemical is found throughout the nut and can cause nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, muscle weakness, and in more severe cases, even paralysis if consumed in large amounts. While some herbal preparations use very carefully processed forms of horse chestnut for circulation issues, raw or improperly handled horse chestnuts should never be eaten. And here is what makes this even trickier. When you are out walking, especially in autumn, horse chestnuts often fall from trees and scatter across sidewalks and yards. People may pick them up, thinking they're wild chestnuts, and bring them home without realizing the danger. Even animals tend to avoid eating them, and that alone should be a sign. If you are ever in doubt, remember this. True chestnuts come from the Castanea tree family, while horse chestnuts come from a completely different plant family, Aesculus. They are not related, even though they look alike. Wisdom in every bite. And there you have it, my friend. 12 kinds of nuts, each with a story to tell. 6 that quietly support your heart, your mind, your energy, and even the earth itself. And 6 that, while they may seem harmless or even healthy, deserve a closer look. Whether it is because of hidden toxins, environmental harm, or the human cost behind their production, these nuts remind us that not everything that grows from the ground is good for the soul. The goal here is not to create fear, but to offer clarity. Because at this stage in life, we do not just eat for survival. We eat to thrive. We eat to stay sharp, mobile, independent, and full of life. And the choices we make, even in something as small as a snack, can shape the way we feel day by day. As you move forward, I hope you feel empowered, not overwhelmed. You do not have to make perfect choices, just more informed ones. You now know which nuts support your goals and which ones might quietly work against them. And that knowledge is power. If you choose to fill your pantry with chestnuts, walnuts, pistachios, or hazelnuts, you are doing more than feeding your body. You are investing in the kind of health that honors your wisdom, your years, and your worth. And if you choose to say no thank you to Cashews or peanuts? That choice too comes from a place of self-respect and a quiet strength that says I matter, and so do the people on the planet around me. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this video gave you something to think about or something to share, please pass it along to a friend, a neighbor, or someone you care about. You never know how far a little knowledge and kindness can go. And don't forget to subscribe to Elders Insight, where we believe growing older means growing stronger, wiser, and more deeply alive. Until next time, stay well, stay kind, and as always, stay curious.